Hi there, welcome back. This is Joey Train and Demetrius Minor. You've tuned in to the second half of our episode this evening, and I'm really excited about the next couple topics we're going to talk about because it's local. It's all around us. It's right around us, and in a lot of ways, the things that we're going to talk about now impact us in a more significant way on a more day-to-day basis than some of the actual things we get into. But so anyway, let's get right into this. Apparently. There's an issue with this parking deck. There's a parking deck issue that we have a problem with.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this parking deck supposed to like benefit like college students or med students? The reason why I ask is with MCG, excuse me,
GHSU, I think.
Yeah.
There might be a couple letters in there I missed.
I never understood the reasoning behind that. But anyway,
that was $2 million change, you know that. $2 million change.
A waste of money. Hey. But anyway, this is supposed to benefit
downtown businesses.
Downtown businesses and students, right? Okay.
Well, I don't know about students so much because where it's located is Reynolds Street, where the Georgia, well, it used to be the Cotton Mill Museum.
Right.
So you think of like the River Walk where that has a nice little place there. So yeah, to benefit the parking situation downtown and bring more options to people.
I will go on and say the parking situation in downtown Augusta could use some improvement.
Yeah, could do much better.
Right.
And so apparently this was just a project moving right along. And now we've come to find that the land isn't the city's, or at least not all of it. And now there's questions of who owns the land, who's going to manage it, and ultimately make the money.
That land downtown by the train tracks, is that the land that you're referring to?
That would be
with all that open space.
Oh no. This is farther up Reynolds, where not the new museum, not the big one with the train inside of it, but where the cotton gin. You would go in and see that. It's the visitor bureau now.
Okay.
The visitor bureau now. And so in any case, it makes downtown a little attractive to have some new structure there. But unfortunately now there's a question arisen of who's going to be managing it. And so there's all these LLCs all together who went in, bought the land. And here's an interesting statistic or fact for you. So Java Hut. I don't know if anybody remembers Java Hut was a place where you go and I bought some really good hot dogs and French fries and barbecue burgers there. But they had coffee and also.
You never shared it with me.
I didn't know you then. I'm sorry. I would have told you to come down. It was really good. But anyway, the business owners sold it to this company. I have to pull up the name for you for $25,000, and a month later it was sold for $119,000 to the city.
That's a drastic change.
Yes,
There.
And I don't know what happened. I don't think they did anything else to it other than let it sit there for a month and then sell it.
Well, obviously, it seems like someone put in a higher bid for it.
So bidding that would be an issue, except not for this property. What happened was, let's see, let me make sure I got the right thing here. So, but of course, the $25,000 that was used to pay for it had to be signed off by Fred Russell, and Fred Russell's name, of course. It's hard. I was telling you, we were talking earlier. I said it's hard to be a fan of Fred Russell at this point. There's just a lot of, so there's just a lot of things that are left unclear, and somebody had to sign off on this. But ultimately, it was left to us, the taxpayers, to cover the cost of this place, cover the cost of this property, so that this stadium, I'm sorry, not stadium, we'll get into that, so that this parking deck could be built. And so here's the, let's see, so under ownership of 933 Broad Investment Company, LLC. So they're the ones involved at this point. But then you get all these other companies involved, even people that own the Marriott and other properties, just in order to get this parking deck constructed and now to the point of where it can be managed and run. And what's interesting about it is that they all come under the ownership, or by subsidiaries, the ownership of Billy Morris and the paper. People that run the paper, the Augusta Chronicle. Yes. Right. So, there's a lot of to go from having a little part, and this Java Hut property is only a fraction of what it took to actually construct this parking deck. But for all this money to be thrown around by the city, meanwhile we have public safety, public workers being furloughed, laid off, what have you. Well, teachers, you know, board of education, they have their own budgets to worry about. But, you know, as a city, and while our development is being stymied, I mean, we have plenty of roads that need fixing. We had some, you know, finally get some new road, you know, parts of Broad Street, what have you. But there are plenty of others in need. And those are jobs. Those are local jobs to be created. In the meantime, we're throwing around these thousands of dollars for the use of a parking deck whose management now has come under fire because we don't know who's going to be, you know, what fees will be involved because now this new, let's see, the managing company, now let me see if I can pull it up here. Let's see. In any case, they're the ones who will be, yes, Morris LLC wants to run the deck for a $25,000 fee to the city. We'd pay that. And then there are other fees involved with, you know, spaces and certain floors of the deck.
So I guess my question is,
yeah.
Is there any oversight of this business expenditure here?
Right. Well, actually now things are coming into review. Joe Bowles actually came out this morning saying that things definitely need to be looked over again because at this point there was an understanding that hasn't been followed through with as far as who owns and who will be running, managing,
so
making the money off of this.
I'm under the
deck.
opinion that this initiative is going to be discussed among the mayor, among the commissioners. And another thing that I want to point out too is if Fred Russell, I understand he is the city administrator, so I guess he's kind of responsible for like the financial oversight.
Well, and ever since the consolidation, Fred Russell's been more and more responsible for more and more things for the city, and it's just unfortunate. All these, you know, that worked great if we had no problems. We're having all these problems now. So
I think another problem that we have to look into as far as Augusta, Georgia city government is that there is no contingency plan.
Like an ethics board or
for Fred Russell. I think that's why he is still in power.
Right.
It's because I believe that there is growing dissent.
Right.
And there is.
Well, they tried to get rid of him, and they didn't.
And
have
I believe they want to. Yeah.
So
because there's no contingency plan.
Yeah.
There's no backup, and I think the city of Augusta really needs to look into that problem so that, you know, things can be solved out in a more efficient way later on down the road.
Yeah.
Because what it could lead to is to just a totally fiscal wreck that this city may not or take a long time to recover from.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that, you know, all this power is sucked into either a few individuals, a few companies, a few people who really, you know, their interests aren't necessarily with the people or with the city. But all these decisions are being made about the money that we put in. I mean, you know, we're all paying into the local tax pool. We do it every day, you know, on just about anything that you purchase. And so, you know, these are things. That's why it's pressing. That's why I feel like it's necessary for you watching at home to be interested in what the city's doing with your money, with our money, and why these things kind of need to come out. I'm gonna just plug real quick. There's an online blog. It's called citystink.blogspot.com. They're also, I know, right? Well, and one of the jokes I read on there, somebody said, you know, I thought it was the paper mill that was where all the stink was coming from, but actually it's a little closer than that.
Apparently we have aromas coming from various parts.
That's right. The canal, all over the place. But so citystink.blogspot.com. They're also on Facebook, and I'll just quickly plug again. Augusta Today on Facebook is another group where people are trying to bring energy to these, bring focus to these actions. Another one recently was the stadium, the Augusta the Lake Olmsted Stadium.
Right.
They're looking to, as far as the Green Jackets go, abandon that stadium and move to a new location. But they're asking for our help in doing that. They want us to put money up to help fund this, this new stadium.
Let's evaluate this, Joey. I, for one, I don't have a problem with the relocation of the Green Jackets Stadium. Now, as far as the allocation of funds and the appropriations, you know, that's another issue to be discussed. One thing that we can look at it, will it generate jobs? Will it generate revenue? And will it generate more high or more interest than it is now?
Right. Well, one of the reasons it's back in the news is because the mayor and a spokesperson for the Cal Ripken Group who wants to, Cal Ripken owns the Green Jackets.
Aberdeen, Maryland, correct?
Came from Aberdeen, Maryland, where they're sort of, they have negative answers to the questions or points you just posed about job creation, city revenue, all that, because it's a drain on their economy at this point. And it really doesn't help anybody other than the owners when you have when you privatize the profits, but you socialize the debt. In other words, owners, advertisers.
Basically, the owners capitalize on the revenue,
right.
While the community and the public.
We pay for the liability. We pay for the
you
capital.
pick up the tab.
Right.
Basically. Now, another issue of concern, and I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate here.
Oh, sure. You can do worse than that, man.
The city of Aberdeen may not be like the city of Augusta as far as budget, from the state of their fiscal status, the city demographics, or the city interests. So, in essence, what may work for Aberdeen may not work for Augusta.
Sure.
What may not work for Aberdeen may work for Augusta. So I think we probably need a good analysis comparing city to city.
Sure.
I guess of budget.
I can tell you just by looking at Aberdeen, the downtown
I have not looked
Aberdeen.
at Aberdeen.
Well, I'm just saying, you look at any pictures of downtown Aberdeen, it seems to be much more bustling than our our local economy. But I think yeah, there are vast differences between Aberdeen and Maryland and Augusta, Georgia, definitely. But the overwhelming evidence that you can find about instances where where the cities raise the funds for a municipal baseball stadium, it comes out to slight the people in that, again, the money stays at the top and the debt or the cost stays down at the bottom. Not just Aberdeen. And interestingly enough, Aberdeen is Cal Ripken's hometown. Right. So and they have an election going on, and it's interesting where Cal Ripken's kind of bringing cities together. Maybe not in ways he had anticipated, but we are understanding that there are similarities or things going on, especially in local government, that need to be paid more and more attention to. So anyway, that's another. It's just all this power, concentrated in one area, and the people kind of being left out. So
well, I'm sure
I think, that
with the issue of especially with this ballpark here, I'm sure that we're going to hear dissecting opinions and different viewpoints. And I would say that if the funds can be allocated in a way where it is not a burden on the Augusta taxpayers, then I'm all for the project.
So if we don't have to pay for it,
basically.
And I'm kind of right there with you. I mean, business is not bad. Good business. Let's get it going. But if we don't really have a say in where this is going, how it's going to be used, or we don't all agree on it, then votes have come out before saying we're opposed to using taxpayer funds to support this. But we keep hearing about it. It keeps coming back in the news, and now we're trying to be sold it again. I guess they're just going to need more people to come out against it before they drop it, or it's going to take another election. So we'll see.
Well, we'll see how this unfolds, and we'll see what the final verdict on this project will be. Well, we want to invite our listeners to tune us in on Wednesday nights and Friday nights, 10:30 p.m. on Comcast Channel 4. This is Points of Interest.
Everybody have a great week.
Thank you.